Welcome to this session on evaluating information, reporting findings, and participating in the exit meeting process during an audit. These steps are crucial for ensuring that the audit results in actionable insights and continuous improvement for the organization. We will cover how to assess compliance, form objective decisions, report findings, and conclude the audit with an effective exit meeting. The first step in evaluating information is comparing the gathered data against established prescribed benchmarks. Benchmarks can come from various sources, such as industry standards, legal regulations, or internal policies. Here's how to approach this process. Review benchmarks. Identify the specific criteria that the audited entity is expected to meet. These can include performance metrics, safety regulations, or operational guidelines. Compare actual performance. Analyze the data you've gathered to see how the organization's processes, records, or practices stack up against these benchmarks. Identify gaps. Look for any non-conformities or deviations from the expected standards. Gaps can signal areas for improvement or potential risks that need to be addressed. Make sure this comparison is thorough, as it forms the basis of the compliance decision-making process. Once you have evaluated the information, the next task is to form an objective decision about the level of compliance. This process requires impartiality and adherence to the facts. Use evidence. Base your compliance decision on the objective evidence gathered during the audit. This could include data from records, interview notes, and direct observations. Avoid bias. Ensure that personal biases or assumptions do not affect your judgment. Stick strictly to the facts and the benchmarks in question. Determine compliance level. Decide whether the organization is compliant, non-compliant, or partially compliant based on the criteria. If non-compliance is found, assess the severity and impact on overall operations. Your decision should always be objective, clear, and directly linked to the evidence collected. Before finalizing your decision, it's essential to verify that it's fully supported by the information at hand. Double-check the following. Consistency. Ensure that the decision aligns with all of the data collected during the audit. Document trail. Confirm that the necessary documentation and evidence support your conclusions. Collaborate with team members. If in doubt, review findings with other members of the audit team to ensure nothing has been overlooked. This step ensures that your decision is sound, defensible, and well supported by evidence. Once compliance decisions have been made, it's time to report findings and prepare recommendations. If any discrepancies or non-compliance issues are identified, this is your opportunity to recommend corrective actions. Formulate findings. Summarize the audit's results, making sure to cover all areas of compliance and non-compliance. Prepare recommendations. If discrepancies are found, propose corrective actions that will help the organization address the issues. These actions should be practical, achievable, and designed to prevent recurrence. Highlight best practices. Don't forget to mention areas where the organization is excelling or meeting standards, as this will balance the report. Clear and actionable recommendations can make the difference between a successful audit and a report that doesn't drive improvement. Before presenting findings, it's important to revisit the audit objectives to ensure that your results are aligned. Here's how to approach this. Review objectives. Go back to the original scope of the audit and confirm that all objectives were met. Cross-check findings. Make sure that the results you're reporting relate directly to the objectives. Adjust if necessary. If new issues have arisen during the audit, consult with the lead auditor to see if additional findings or objectives should be included. This step ensures that the audit report is complete and fully addresses the objectives set at the outset. Once findings are finalized, present them to the lead auditor. This ensures consistency and alignment across the audit team. The lead auditor will review the findings, and they may ask for clarifications or additional data. Present findings clearly. Use an organized structure that follows the audit's scope and objectives. Support recommendations. Justify your recommendations with evidence and explain why certain corrective actions are necessary. By maintaining open communication with the lead auditor, you can ensure that the findings are well understood and ready for reporting to management. After presenting to the lead auditor, formalize your recommendations for improvements in the agreed-upon format. This report should be clear, concise, and structured in line with the organization's standards. Key elements include summary of non-compliances, list areas that need immediate attention, proposed corrective actions, suggest actionable steps that can be taken to rectify discrepancies, improvement recommendations, offer broader suggestions for process improvements or enhancements that may benefit the organization in the long term. Make sure your report adheres to the audit's documentation guidelines, as this will facilitate proper follow-up. The exit meeting is a key part of closing out the audit and ensuring that findings are communicated effectively. Here's how to approach this process. Prepare for the exit meeting. Use the exit meeting agenda that was developed during the audit preparation phase. This ensures that the meeting stays on track and covers all critical points. Present findings and consequences. During the meeting, clearly explain the context and consequences of the audit findings. Ensure that all stakeholders understand the potential risks or non-compliances identified. Discuss follow-up. Confirm the next steps in terms of corrective actions and follow-up audits. Establish a timeline for addressing the recommendations and clarify who will be responsible for each task. The exit meeting is an opportunity for open dialogue, so be prepared to answer questions and provide clarity on any points that might need further explanation. In conclusion, evaluating information, reporting findings, and participating in the exit meeting process are crucial for ensuring the success of any audit. These steps not only help assess compliance, but also provide a pathway for continuous improvement within the organization. Through objective decision-making, clear reporting, and effective communication, you can ensure that the audit results in actionable insights and meaningful changes. Thank you for your attention. Remember, every audit is a chance to drive positive change and enhance the organization's processes.